Hi, I'm Greg Bryden, your 2021 SYSCO Commodore. This video is to show off the safety and operations of our mark boat, Pancho. Pancho is located at McCuddy's Marina. We're currently in the second slip from the end of the covered rows here. So let me just go ahead and get started. We will tell you where the keys to Pancho are kept, but they look like this. There's a ignition key, a little floaty. There's also a little safety dead man type switch if you fall overboard. Most of the time when we're doing poncho operations, we're moving around the boat and are not able to wear this on our person as a safety disconnect. But especially if you're on the boat alone and just on the driving part, we recommend you consider using it. So let's go ahead. The key goes in the ignition. The little tab that activates the safety switch goes in here. You gotta hear a real positive click. If you're cranking and the outboard doesn't start, it's probably because this is not fully engaged. So be sure to check that. Before you start the outboard, obviously you want to lower it. There's an up and down switch on the throttle itself. So obviously you want to bring this down, fully down. And that's good to go when it sounds like that. Let me just point out a couple of things. We have a safety throw rope on board. We also have a ladder for recovering persons overboard if we're assisting in getting people out of the water. So there's those safety features. There's also a knife for emergencies. We had one situation where the prop got fouled and it was starting to pull the boat under in the current, and having a safety knife to be able to cut that rope away was a helpful thing. So keep that knife handy back there. That's what it's for. Other features on the boat, obviously we have running lights. We have a bilge pump. The bilge pump is totally manually activated. So if you start to feel your feet getting wet, you can go ahead and pull this switch to get the bilge pump going. There's a main power switch. It's a little hard to see, it's kind of hidden under here, but there's just two positions. And you'll know it's on when the depth finder beeps and the radio comes on. We usually keep the radio on 72, but this can do a standard watch on 16. After it comes on, it wants you to push a little OK, a little acknowledgement, and then that's all good to go. So other things you might want to do is check that the fuel is available, and our poncho engineer Bruce will be checking fuel regularly, but you can see the little indicator here. It says full. If it's getting towards empty, please let us know. Okay. So you want to make sure that the fuel line vent is open, and again the fuel is full or close to. That should be good to go. As I mentioned, you may want to give the fuel line pump a squeeze or two. You can kind of feel there's pressure in it. Usually it doesn't need this, but just in case. Make sure it's using neutral. This is obviously forward, reverse, neutral, center, and it should start right up. Let's see. Hey, perfect. So, let's go for a little ride. Four-way tie up here. Ease. What I like to do is throw these up and over the floats so that we can hand them off to the committee boat as we pull alongside. So I recommend you keep these lines handy, bow lines. And today there isn't a lot of current, but often we get some pretty strong currents coming through here. That side. So before you head out, you do want to let the outboard warm up for a minute or so, like we've been doing here, just to be sure. One more.
I'm going to stand here. So
okay.
Just
okay.
And be telling people what you're doing when you're backing out and all that.
Okay. Still going?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it out and bring it back in just to show you a couple little tricks on parking and getting in and out. Obviously, you want to back out. Make sure your outboard's straight out. Pop in reverse. Slowly move yourself out. Looking out for folks before you, as you go. All right. Rock. Want to maintain a very low speed through this little neighborhood back in here. I'm going to turn around and then come back and I'm coming back in. What I like to do is I'm coming in, actually come in and do a quick lazy turn and then park. Gives me a little time to judge the current and just get everything lined up. So, here we go. Gives me plenty of room to kind of line everything up, come in straight. Often with this current, to keep steering, you have to come in fairly fast. Also be aware that these gears kind of stick out a little further than they look. So I generally kind of come in and then do post in and maybe even use a little reverse last second just to bring it to a stop. And then we're pretty much set there for getting off and tying up. So should I go for a ride? Do it again?
Yep, hold on.
Okay, let's go ahead and go for a little ride. We're going to back out. Obviously, again, get your outboard pointed the right way. And traffic. And gently head on out. See how those stick out a little further than than you think. Fortunately, we've got lots of fenders. Make sure the fenders are out. We're gonna go out and just show you the entrance to where we keep the boat. Turn around, come back in. Hang on, here we go. And want to be respectful and go real nice and slow through our little back neighborhood here. Often when the current's real strong, you're really crabbing your way through here. So you may be practically pointing the bow this way and still end up going that way. But surprisingly, the spring freshen's a little late this year, I think. Haven't seen the big currents yet. Goes without saying, we expect all the race committee crew to be wearing life jackets all times. There's a lot of opportunity for falling overboard when you're setting marks and lights. So that's safe. Is that a new dolphin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good guy.
Yeah, and they got rid of the range markers too. So there's a new dolphin back in there too.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it used to be, when the current was strong, that dolphin would just be rocking. It'd just be like a metronome out here. Okay, so let's just go out there. So, one thing on this, it's a pretty powerful outboard. You don't want to just slam it at full speed right away, or you're going to lose somebody overboard. The same goes for when you're slowing down. You don't want to just hit the throttle real suddenly down. You can swamp the boat or, again, knock somebody over. So, brace yourself, grab somebody, I'll show you. Kind of feeling good up in the plane. All right, hey. You want to just do it gently like that. Yeah. All right, let's head on back. There's the number 4 gate marker. And the marker again. I don't remember which side. I used to kind of always go on one side there. Doing a great job, man. Well, there's a fair amount of current out here. Rather than trying to kind of make that sharp turn right in, I like to go make that loop around, so I'm going to do that again. Just gives me a little time to judge the current, eyeball everything, make sure I got the right spot. One thing to be wary of when you're maneuvering in tight corners like this is the back tends to swing a bit. So you don't want to get too close here as I start my turn, or you're going to have that back swinging in, hit something. So, give yourself room in the stern here. little more room. Nice and straight in. And like I said, I usually warn my passengers right by now I'm going to throw it in reverse. Hang on. And there we are. Back on plan here. Go ahead and tie off a couple of these marks and just go over real quickly how to put things away. I'll just get one of these for that time being. Ordinarily we'll get all 4 secured eventually. You want to keep it bouncing everywhere. Now. Okay, back on shore. All right, come on. So, thanks. So, a couple of things I wanted to point out again. You've got your flags and all your stuff back. Let's keep the flags up off the floor because the wet flags tend to bleed color a little bit. So we usually keep them on the rail here. And this is the new auto horn, and again it can kind of act as a prop for keeping those flags up off the water. I'm just going to shut her down. Keys for now. Again, I'll tell you where those go. Not on the video. Make sure the power is turned back off. There's that switch there, and again you can see that these instruments all turn off when you've done that. Just want to make sure that the outboard is centered before you raise it back up. And the little button here, up, down, bring it up. All the way out of there. Tire noise, you know, it's reached its maximum. Again, kind of checking everything's off. We'll put the keys away and make sure she's tied up. And I guess last thing is please take your trash off. There's trash bags here. There's also some bleach and other stuff for disinfecting. We'll be cleaning the boat regularly, but if you could take your bottle and cans or whatever with you on the way out. There's plenty of places to throw them away here at McCuddy's. And other than that, be safe out there. Happy racing.